Have you tried time blocking before, but it just doesn't seem to work for you? You're not alone in this struggle, and in this video, I'm going to share 5 common mistakes people make when time blocking and what changes you can implement so that you can succeed. Be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button to be notified every time I post a new video about productivity and time management tools and tips. I've helped many entrepreneurs and business owners identify and overcome their time blocking struggles, and I'm so excited to help you. So first I want to say that just like with any time management system or habit that you're trying to implement, there is a fine-tuning process, and it's the same thing for time blocking. So just as a little bonus tip, I want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to implement this new habit. Be patient with yourself. It usually takes about 30 to 45 days of you implementing time blocking to make any tweaks and adjustments that you need for it to then become a consistent habit in your life. Mistake number 1, underestimating your time. Now, I would say almost every single person makes this mistake when they first start time blocking. They're usually super pumped and eager to just start plugging in all their time slots, and they don't always understand exactly how long a task is going to take, or they just assume it's going to take a lot less time. If you notice that you're making this mistake and you're constantly going over your scheduled time blocks, it's a super easy fix. First thing I'd encourage you to do is to start tracking your time. I usually tell my clients to track their time for 1 week, 7 days, grab a journal, and every task that you would time block for or that you do time block for, I want you to write down in that journal or pad of paper, how long did that task take you? Second easy fix to going over on your time blocks is to make sure you're padding your time. So a lot of times people have unrealistic expectations of how long something's going to take them, or they're just unsure. So maybe they think a task is going to take them only 20 minutes. What I recommend, especially when you're just starting out time blocking, is you double it. So instead of blocking for 20 minutes, you're now going to block for 40 minutes. This is going to set you up for success. Trust me, you're not going to feel bummed out that you finished your task before your time slot is over. Mistake number 2, overscheduling. Here's the truth. You can't fit in everything, you can't be everywhere, and you can't be everything to everyone. In our fast-paced society, it's super easy to overbook yourself. I get it. You want to help people, you don't want to say no, maybe you don't want to miss out. There's so many reasons why entrepreneurs, business owners, and just people in general really overbook themselves. But overscheduling yourself leads to burnout and to feeling like there's just never enough time in the day. And it's because mentally and physically, you're unable to complete everything that you've packed onto that schedule. So what's the fix? You need to have clear boundaries and identify your priorities. Saying no to certain opportunities or to events, it can be really hard. But when you're clear on what's important to you and what your priorities are, I promise it gets easier. Knowing your priorities is really going to help you figure out what do you actually want on your schedule. Even inside of my Fruitful Time Blocker Planner, I make sure that everybody starts off with identifying their priorities because I just think that you can't successfully time block if you don't have a clear picture of what's important in your life. Now I'm kind of curious, are you a chronic overscheduler? I feel like this one's a hard one to admit because we really think we can just do it all. But I want to know, tell me in the comments, do you find yourself always overscheduling? Mistake number 3 is time blocking for projects. First, let's quickly cover what is a project. A project is anything that requires multiple large tasks. Some examples of projects would be creating a digital course, writing a book, remodeling your kitchen, launching a new product. All of those are projects. Projects have multiple steps or tasks or phases inside of them that you need to complete in order to complete the project. Let's take a look at creating a digital course, for example. There are things like figuring out the title. What kind of content are you going to provide? How many modules? What platform are you going to use? You have to write the copy. You need to do the video or the slides. There's so much that goes inside of creating a digital course. So say if you were to time block and you put digital course inside of a 2-hour time block window, chances are you're going to feel a little frustrated, because when you sit down for that time block, you're likely going to feel a little overwhelmed of where do I start? What exactly am I doing? You're going to spend a lot of time getting organized and sorted because all you have written down is create a digital course. The fix for this is to split up projects into manageable and trackable tasks. So perhaps instead of putting create digital course for your first time blocking session, instead maybe you do a brainstorming session where you come up with the title and what kind of content you might want to include inside of the course. Or another example would be you create a time block for creating all of the digital downloads you're going to provide inside of the course. When you split projects up into tasks, you get to end each time block knowing that you made progress. And trust me, this simple little switch is a game changer. Common mistake number 4 is expecting perfection. Now, I don't think that this one needs too much explanation here, but often when people first start time blocking, they just have some unrealistic expectations and they think just because they started something, it's gonna go perfect, that there's not going to be any hiccups, and they really get frustrated and flustered when hurdles or distractions pop up when they time block. I've been time blocking for well over 6 years now, and I gotta tell you, it's an amazing tool, but it's not some magical tool that just erases every distraction or hiccup or hurdle that can come your way. You have to learn how to be flexible if you are going to succeed at time blocking. Out of all of the mistakes and the struggles that I've helped people with when it comes to time blocking, I would say this fix is the hardest for most to make, because it's a mindset shift. I cannot give it to you. You have to make the changes inside of your head yourself. First thing I would say is adjust your expectations around time blocking. Then plan your time blocks and be prepared for hurdles that might come up. So I have systems that are in place for in case there are distractions or in case an emergency happens. I have all of these in case scenarios, so then that way when they come up in real life, I'm able to make the adjustments that I need to in my time blocking schedule, and I don't get flustered just because things didn't go perfectly. Because trust me, chances are most of the time it's not going to go perfect. It might go great, it might go amazing, but perfect, I don't think that's something I would say. Mistake number 5 is lack of discipline. I know this one is sort of a hit to the ego, but it's something that needs to be addressed, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. Here's the thing. We all already have habits and routines ingrained inside of us. There's like tons of studies out there that show almost, I think it's like 75% of the stuff we do is all done out of habit every day. So we have habits. We're just trying to replace bad habits with good habits, but that takes discipline. If you're serious about controlling your time, being more productive, and implementing effective time management systems in your life, you have to be disciplined and committed even when motivation is nowhere to be found. So many people I've worked with have told me things like, I don't want a rigid schedule, or I work for myself so nobody can tell me what to do or what time to do it at. And what I always tell them is they're in control, just like you're in control of your time. Whether you time block or whether you don't, you're still the boss of your time. Time blocking is simply a tool, an extremely effective tool that has helped many people become more productive, focused, and have more freedom inside of their schedule. If you struggle with lack of discipline or maybe making excuses around time blocking and why it doesn't work for you, but you truly do want to become more productive and you want an effective time management system, which I'm assuming you do because you made it to mistake number 5 here, then my recommendation and my fix for you is to get an accountability partner. This can be anyone. It can be a friend. You can use your social media for accountability, a spouse, a sibling, or you can even hire a coach. And you just need to be honest and clear about what you're asking them. So how often do you need to check in with them? Do you need to check in? Do they need to check in with you? And be clear about what your goals are and what you want to achieve when you're time blocking. I have several accountability partners in my life, and it helps so much to stay on track with whatever habits I am trying to implement, but especially in the beginning of time blocking. And because you are your own boss of your time, it's nice to have that little extra push from an external source. Don't feel hesitant about reaching out to get support. Accountability partners can be so helpful in any new habit you're trying to implement. I'm hoping all of these fixes have inspired you to try time blocking again. If so, and you feel like you need a little bit more help, then please feel free to download my free time blocking cheat sheet. I will make sure that I put the link in the description below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. I can't tell you how much it helps content creators like me when you do that small act of kindness, so thank you. If you want to learn more helpful tips about time blocking, make sure you watch this video here. And as always, my friend, be fruitful with your time.